Here's Sports Director Josh Copley.
We are back on a Friday night here on WNKX, live on YouTube and Facebook. We appreciate you tuning in here tonight for this presentation of Hickman County High School football. Your Bulldogs are at home tonight at Kenneth Moe Wright Stadium, which houses Jerry Bratton Field right outside of Hickman County High School in Centerville, Tennessee. And we will see your Hickman County Bulldogs host the Lewis County Panthers. I'm Josh Copley alongside Aiden Weber. Aiden, welcome back to the booth.
Thank you, Josh. So glad to be here again this week. Wasn't able to join you last week at Fairview, but hey, at home this week, and we have a big crowd here at Hickman County.
Absolutely. And Aiden, I promise I don't hold anything against you for not joining us last Saturday. Yes, you heard me right. I said Saturday because, as we know, on Friday night there were the severe thunderstorms that rolled in. They swept across Middle Tennessee. We hope you all stayed safe throughout all of those storms. And unfortunately, that meant that we had to push the game back to Saturday instead of our regular Friday time slot. And Aiden, that's hard for the players when you're so used to playing on a Friday night. There's really hardly ever any changes in the schedule, but that's one of the times those players have to adjust. And Hickman County was adjusting in many different ways last Saturday because not only were they having to play a different time slot on a different day, but they also were having to contend with a different field. Out here at Hickman County, we're used to this natural grass field, but at Fairview and Williamson County, they have a turf field, and it seemed like it really bit the Bulldogs last Saturday. We saw a lot of injuries. Some might be related to the field, some probably not. So I think we need to talk about those, Aiden, before we begin here tonight. Kickoff is in less than 15 minutes. We'll give you time to join us here this evening for high school football at 7 o'clock at the top of the hour. So, Aiden, to talk about the Bulldog injuries that they're having to contend with at this time of the year. So we talk about quarterback Andy Kraft. We saw him go down pretty early in the Fairview game, and he had a collarbone-related injury, and his time frame for being out isn't confirmed yet. Now, Aiden, I know you had some updates surrounding what the time frame was looking like for Kraft.
Yeah, Josh, I talked to Andy. He's in a sling, and he said if he has to have surgery, then he's out all season. But if he doesn't, then he can play in 2 to 4 weeks. So hopefully we'll see him this season again, but the injury is not yet classified.
Of course, and if Aiden, as much as we want to see Andy Kraft on this field, we also have to think about the young man's health. Now, is surgery probably the smart move for Kraft? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not a doctor, but you don't want to rush him back on the field and then risk even further injury because Kraft is still a junior. He still has one whole year ahead of him where he can lead these Bulldogs to success, and you don't want to put that in jeopardy. But I know Andy, I talked to Jason Kraft recently, and he was talking about how Andy is just fiending to get back onto the field. That's Andy being here tonight, looking on, watching his guys. The last place he wants to be is on the sideline. The first place he wants to be is on that field, taking snaps, leading his guys. And we know Andy has been such a great leader this year, thus far in this young season. But only time will tell on if he will be joining us sooner or later. But Aiden, that's not the only injury the Bulldogs are contending with. They had a grand total of 3 major injuries take place at Fairview on Saturday. The second of which is Aiden Spiegelmeyer, and that one, it was pretty scary because when we were up here in the booth watching that injury take place, he was down for a long time. We even saw Sheriff Jason Kraft come onto the field, make an emergency phone call. We saw the cart have to come out, and that is never a good sign for any athlete. He was unable to walk off under his own power. They loaded him on the cart and took him away to a medical facility where we found out that he has a broken arm. And we know Spiegelmeyer, he is such a fiery player on both offense and defense, and to see that young man laying down on the field in pain for so long was so tough to watch, and I'm sure it was tough to watch for our viewers as well as the fans in attendance. So have you heard anything about Spiegelmeyer, anything about his morale right now?
I have not heard, I've not talked to Spigs personally, but I have heard he's definitely upset. He wished he was able to play, and the team wishes he was able to play as well. And those 3 injuries were just terrible last week. But he is in a cast, and hopefully he'll be able to get on the field next year. Hopefully he'll play next year.
Yeah, absolutely, Aiden. We can only hope it's nothing too serious. And actually, I had the opportunity to talk to Coach Pat Smith earlier this week. I ran into him in the community, and I asked him about Chase Sims as well, because we saw Sims go down in the latter part of the Hickman-Fairview game. And what Coach Smith said, he said he doesn't want to speculate. He doesn't like making assumptions. But what he did say was best case, meniscus, worst case, ACL. And both of those sound terrible for young Sims, who's been an absolute vital piece of that Bulldog front.
Yeah, Josh, at school he is in crunches, so you know he's in a lot of pain. And that young man is very strong, so you know he's in a lot of pain if he's having to go through all of that.
Well, we know all three of those guys that we just named off on the injured list for Hickman County, they're all tough, they're all resilient. I think that's one of the things Hickman County is so good at, and that is staying strong, staying tough. And it's even more so this year. Last year, Hickman County, in the face of adversity, didn't look so good. But this year, Coach Smith has done a great job at keeping their heads held high. And tonight, they're going to have to be resilient because they have a very tough opponent ahead of them in the Lewis County Panthers. Lewis County enters in tonight 3-0 on the season. They have looked unstoppable. They blew out Zion Christian to start the year. They had a big district win over Houston County, and then they dominated Loretto. Or Loretto was the district game, rather, and they blew out Houston County as well. Either way, they're 3-0, and none of their games have been particularly close. Hickman County, it's been a different story. Hickman County enters in tonight 1-2 after starting off hot against Harpeth, a big victory there, but getting blown out by Waverly, and then the blowout last week by Fairview. So they have been on the ropes, they've been on their heels, but how are they going to persevere? It's not about what happened previously, but what are you going to do next in the season?
And Josh, I talked to some of the guys, and those two losses that they faced, they're not forgetting about them. They're still thinking about them, but they're not dwelling on them. They're putting their wrongs and working on them in practice to get better for this week's game.
And of course, that's all you can do, but right now we're going to take it down to the field. The color guard is there to present the nation's flag, and we will have a playing of the national anthem. And that was our national anthem performed by the Hickman County High School Band. What a great job they did. And Aiden, I want to talk a little bit more about the nature of this game here tonight. And you mentioned how it was a packed house. And as we just saw during that national anthem, we had to stand up, look out from the press box, and it is a packed house. We see a lot of the students down there painted up, ready to go for this ball game. And there are some games, some rivalries that transcend just one sport. You know, when we think of other rivals in other sports, it's usually just isolated in this one area. But with Hickman County, these rivalries are across every single sport here between these two schools. And, you know, when we talk about some of Hickman County's great rivals, I think number one, we have to talk about East Hickman, but right behind them, I think, is Lewis County. Of course, these two counties right next to each other, a lot of animosity between the two. And it seems like in different sports, Hickman County takes the advantage in some things, but Lewis County also takes the advantage in others. And football has certainly been dominated by Lewis County in recent history. But here's the thing, Aiden. Rivalry games are so unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen on any given day. So Hickman County, while they are coming into tonight as the underdogs, they could certainly walk out of here with a victory if they play with that passion and fire that a rivalry game can light under them.
Exactly, Josh. And rival games, one thing that the guys were talking about is that rival games bring a fire into the players. So, yes, Hickman County has a fire to play tonight, but we have to think about Lewis County. They also do as well. So we're going to have to play good football on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely, and I think what else is going to be very important to watch tonight is going to be number 4, John Michael Lewis. He's going to have to step up and take the snaps here tonight as the quarterback for the Hickman County High School Bulldogs. And we saw him last week when Andy came out. He came in. The offense definitely didn't run as fast as it does under Andy, but we saw towards the end it took him a little bit, but John Michael was able to throw the ball, and he completed a pass for 15 yards, if not more. So I think if they let John Michael loose here tonight, he's got a cannon for an arm. He might not be as fast and as mobile as Andy, but if they can air it out and make the Lewis County secondary respect the pass, that might open things up for Street and Hutchison here tonight to really pick apart the Lewis County rushing defense.
Josh, I totally agree. And last week, John Michael Lewis probably wasn't prepared to play the quarterback position, but he's had a week of practice, so you know he's prepared this week, and I can't wait to see what he does on the field tonight.
Well, you mentioned that, Aiden, about him not being prepared, and we always want to be careful about saying that because I think John Michael is prepared for every single game he plays, but to add more context to what you said, John Michael, just because he's also the backup quarterback, doesn't mean he's just sitting on the sideline waiting to go in and take snaps in case Andy needs a break or gets hurt. He's on the field all the time. If he's on offense, he's playing a tight end position. If he's on defense, he's playing a linebacker position. So he's always doing something on the field. And then when Andy got hurt, he had to make a switch on a dime to change positions offensively, and that's never easy. But we know the integrity of John Michael. We know the discipline of John Michael. If anyone can step up and answer the call, it's going to be him.
Yeah, Josh, and I mean, all the guys are ready to play. John Michael today seemed very ready, very excited to feel in the quarterback position.
And we are under 5 minutes away from kickoff here at Hickman County High School. So tonight, Aiden, I want to make notice of the 4 captains on the field for the Hickman County Bulldogs. Number 50, Ruger Toddy. Number 5, Jaden Street. Number 4, John Michael Lewis. And number 12, Braden McCaleb will be the 4 Bulldogs going forward to midfield for the coin toss here tonight. And those are 4 fine, upstanding young men, and I know they're going to do their best tonight to lead these Bulldogs against a tough Lewis County opponent. But I want to talk a little bit about Braden McCaleb. McCaleb has been someone this Bulldog offense has relied on a lot. Now, Hickman County loves using speed, and they love trying to get around the edges with guys like Hutchison, guys like Street, even when Andy Kraft was playing him getting around the edge on quarterback keepers. But Braden McCaleb is called upon a lot to really power it up the middle, to use his strength, to use his body to run over guys and to get tough yards that other guys on this team simply cannot get. But with that heavy workload we've seen Braden McCaleb getting, we've also seen a fair amount of turnovers. So have you heard anything about McCaleb's mindset this week, trying to secure the ball and trying to be more disciplined offensively?
Josh, I have not been able to talk to McCaleb personally, but Hickman County, we love to run the ball outside with Taylor Hutchison and Jaden Street, but we need that powerhouse. We need that force to go inside, and I think he will definitely be a key part in this game tonight.
Absolutely, and so long as McCaleb, the more reps he gets, the more dangerous he's going to be. He's going to be more careful with the football, but he's also going to be harder to bring down. And Hickman County Bulldogs just made their entrance to the sideline. The Dogs wearing those black uniforms with the black pants and the white lettering and the black helmets. Lewis County wearing the all white with the black lettering.
John Michael Lewis.
And now, Aiden, we know rivalry games bring out the best in the players, but we also see rivalry games bring out a lot in the fans as well. I mean, as you said, packed house here tonight, but as I look across the way to Lewis County section, they have packed that side as well.
Yeah, Josh, Lewis County never fails. They always bring a good crowd. The parents to support the kids, to support Lewis County football, and so I think it's going to be a great game. But, as we were talking about, rivalry games bring, a power to the team, but it can also create mistakes as well because of the pressure that is here at Hickman County.
Yeah, and it's all about controlling your emotions. As much as you want to be fired up, you can't let that get the best of you. It's good to play with passion. It's good to play with that desire and determination to win, But if you're letting it affect how you play negatively, you can see a lot of penalties, a lot of guys jittery up front, a lot of false start calls, a lot of offsides penalties being called, and that can go for both sides here tonight. And Lewis County, while they are the favorite, they're still having to play in a very tough environment tonight that is Hickman County High School. And it looked like the coin toss was just taking place, and the Hickman County Bulldogs will return to start this first half, which means Lewis County will get the ball to receive the football in the second half. And something we don't see too often, Aiden, we've seen it some, but seeing the band in full force come out for both sides, and we expected it from Hickman County, but Lewis County also bringing their band along on the road, trying to add a spark to that opposing team's fan base, and I think it's a good strategy for the Panthers to do that, to implement the band and add some music and some tunes, and let's see if it'll be enough for them to contend with this Hickman County crowd.
Yeah, Josh, it just goes back to that support and having support in the team.
So the Bulldogs about ready to return things. We see Braden Armstrong back deep.
Kicking off for Lewis County, 28, Corbin Harris.
Harris to kick things away for the Panthers. And the wait is finally over, Bulldog fans. We are underway in a booming kick by the Panthers. Return inside the 10, to the 15, 20, has a hole, cuts back, still on his feet, past the 30, taken down at the 34, and a fantastic return for the Dogs to start this ball game. And Aiden, it's all about special teams here. That's how you start the momentum for your guys. Even before the offense or defense takes the field, those are the plays the Bulldogs are going to need tonight if they're going to beat the Panthers.
Exactly, Josh, and I don't know who that number 15 was, but he was fast. You could tell he was fast, and that's why they put him in that position.
And we're getting word the returner was Jacoby Pittman, number 15 on the field. We usually see Armstrong and Kennedy back deep to return, but they're mixing it up here tonight with Pittman. So under center, Lewis, snap, gives, McCaleb, following his blocks, down to the 40, surges past the 40, and a good run by McCaleb to start the ball game. He'll take it up to the 42-yard line.
And right there, Josh, that's what we were talking about earlier, the power force that Braden McCaleb brings to this Hickman County football team.
And we saw him. He had two hands on the football. He covered up. He lowered those shoulders. And, man, he's tough to bring down. And that's a great start for the Bulldogs, those chunk plays. So Lewis again under center. Motion street, snap. It's a toss outright. Jaden bounces it to the outside. Looking for the chains, wrapped up and taken down. And he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage at most. But let's see where they'll mark him. And they'll back him up a couple of yards for a loss of 2, a third down and 4.
Loss of 3 on the play, 35.
So the Bulldogs already forced with an early third down and medium. Coker was there on the tackle for the Panthers. Snap. Lewis gives the street. Has a hole. Tries to shut off a tackle, but he's wrapped up and taken down. A nice open field tackle by Lewis County, and that forces a Bulldog fourth down. So after the nice run by McCaleb, the Bulldogs either going nowhere or backwards on those following plays. Armstrong and Keithley coming off the field for the Bulldogs, as well as number 51, Jackson Mayberry. So the Dogs look to punt things away. The snap is good. Lewis, a high booming kick angling towards the right sideline, and it goes out of bounds. So no return for the Panthers. And a pretty decent punt there by Lewis. And now it's time to see what this Bulldog defense can do after the offense sputters.
Out of bounds. That's 39-yard line.
And the ball will be spotted down at the 39-yard line. We saw the ball land on the ground a bit further, but, Aiden, just to remind our viewers at home, it's where it crosses out of bounds, not where it technically lands.
And Josh, Hickman County has always been known for their defense, so let's see what this defense team has in store in these next couple of plays.
And I think this is a big opening drive for this Bulldog defense to really see what they're all about. Snap, looking to pass early, quick throw out to the left. Has some room, cuts back inside. That's a Panther first down just beyond midfield. And the quarterback for the Panthers tonight is number 6, Colt Skelton. He's a 6-foot-tall senior. So the Panthers into Bulldog territory early down at the 49. Skelton in the gun, 2 receivers right, 2 left. His running back flanking him in the gun. Snap. Looks to throw against the same play. That receiver screen out left. He dives forward for an extra piece of yards, and the ball's loose on the ground. They may have marked him down. The Bulldogs think they have it. The pass was complete to Fightinger, and that was the second reception of the day. This one goes for 7. Second down and 3 for the Panthers. So Fightinger already showing that he's going to be a big part of this Lewis County offense. The running back number 13, Braylon Bean, standing next to Skelton. Snap, play action, wants to throw, fires over the middle, caught. He takes a big hit at the 30, but that's plenty for a Lewis County first down. So a 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Ball spotted at the 30. Skelton in the gun once again. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Snap, give up the middle. And it's a modest gain of a few there by Bean. Bean also a senior, a 6-foot-tall running back who also plays defensive back. And Bean goes for about 3 on the first down carry, second down and 7.
Now, Josh, you have to give credit where credit's due. So far, this Lewis County offense has done great so far.
They're moving the ball slowly but surely, combining short passes and hard-nosed run. Snap, give. Bean breaks the tackle, cuts back, and he accelerates. And he's going to go down inside the 5. He's close to the marker. What are they going to say? Lewis County thinks they're in, and the officials confirm it. That'll be a touchdown for the Panthers. And you know what, Aiden, watching that run, it was so impressive. I mean, Braylon Bean is not a small guy by any means, but he was able to cut back inside, so light on his feet, and he was able to accelerate all the way to the end zone. So I give props there for an excellent touchdown run, but the Bulldogs unable to stop these Panthers, and we'll have to answer back on offense. The PAT snap good, hold is good. The kick right down the middle will make our score here at Bratton Field 7-0 Panthers. So both teams have now had the ball 1 time apiece. The clock reads 7 minutes and 24 seconds to go in this first quarter of play.
Now, Josh, with Hickman County, with the 2 losses that they faced, and now they're down 7-0, they can't hang their heads. There's still a lot of game to be played. Lewis County is a good team, and they just have to keep playing hard.
Yeah, absolutely, Aiden. On that first drive, I should say, by the Bulldogs, they had that wonderful run by Michaela, but then it staggered after that. So I think right now Coach Pat Smith is just in the feeling out process. He's trying to learn what this Lewis County defense is going to show him, and then he's going to go from there. So if his running game is working with him, then I think we're going to see Braden McCaleb get the ball a lot more. Now, he wants to get it to Street because Street is such a wonderful playmaker, but I wouldn't be surprised that we see Armstrong get involved as well. We know his acceleration is incredible. So now it's Lewis County set to kick things away. It's Henry Sharp setting up shop. Pittman and Armstrong back deep to return for the Dogs. Pittman had a good return last time. And it's away. It's going to be Armstrong that fields it, has trouble with it, but picks it up inside the 10, down to the 15, tries to make some guys miss, gets around the edge, tries to accelerate, and he's wrapped up and taken down near the 20-yard line.
Armstrong with return to the 20-yard line will be first down and 10 for the Bulldogs.
And it looked like for a second there, Aiden, that Armstrong was about to break it big, but Lewis County has done such a great job at protecting the edges. They're not making anything easy for the Bulldogs, whether it be in the running game or on return.
Definitely, Josh. Let's see what Hickman County will bring with their offense this time around.
And we haven't seen a pass yet from Lewis. John Michael under center. Snap. He's going to give it to the right. And he'll get a few on the carry, waiting to see for the pile to unravel to see who had the carry there. I believe that was McCaleb.
About 2.5 from McCaleb.
Braden McCaleb gets about 2.5 on the play. It'll be a second and a long 7, short 8. Snap. Lewis gives up the middle. That was a tough carry there by McCaleb yet again, and that will be enough to move the chains to the 31-yard line. So that's the Bulldogs' first down of the game.
That'll be enough for an Apex first down.
So we might be mind readers, Aiden. We said McCaleb might be the one getting the ball more going forward with that positive gain he had on the first drive, and here he is again making plays. Lewis gives. That's Armstrong around the edge. Wrapped up. They're trying to strip it loose. And a flag is thrown on the play. And that was number 5, Drew Ray, there on the tackle. It looked like right there, Aiden, they were not going for the tackle. They were going for the ball to try to force a turnover. But they might get a face mask on the play. We saw Armstrong's head get turned just a little bit on the play. But let's see if we're correct. And it'll be a personal foul face mask called against the Panthers. So, Aiden, we know the Panthers are usually a very disciplined team, but these are the plays that Hickman County has to take advantage of. These are freebies, if you will, free yards. Got to make them count. Now close to midfield now. Ball be spotted now at the 48 of the Bulldogs. Lewis under center. Pittman out wide right, the lone receiver. Snap. Lewis gives. And nothing going there for Braden Armstrong. Looked like he lost his footing there for a second, and the play was pretty much shot after that as Lewis County swarms him and takes him down close to the line of scrimmage, but they'll give him a loss of 1. So not a very generous spot given to Armstrong where he was tackled. They'll back him up 2 yards. Pittman again, the lone receiver out wide to the right. Lewis, snap. He's in a pass, looks to throw. Lewis lets it fly. In and out of the hands of Braden McCaleb, a tough play. And it looked like Lewis tried to hit him in stride there, maybe just a little bit out of reach of McCaleb. You know, McCaleb not known for his speed there, so I think if you're Lewis, you have to get adjusted to the guys who will be catching passes. You know, Pittman, known for his speed out wide. You know, so it's just a learning process for John Michael.
Exactly, Josh, a learning process, but I would love to see more throwing passes in the future for the Hickman County football team.
Yeah, I mean, he was open. He had a man there, just couldn't connect. So 3rd down and long. Snap. Lewis wants to pass. No, he gives to McCaleb. And McCaleb is going nowhere on the 3rd and long. No gain. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. 4th down and long. And the Dogs will probably have to punt yet again. I'd like to give a very special thank you to Houston Porter, who is running our camera here tonight, a student of Matthew Dotson's. All these kids that have helped WNKX over the course of these sports seasons have been such a blessing to us, and we're so grateful for the work they've done. And the Bulldogs will be punting it looks like. Fightinger back deep to return. The punt is away. And it's a high kick, and it'll take a Bulldog bounce. Rolls inside the 15, and it will be downed at the 13-yard line.
How about Lewis down?
So a fantastic punt there by the Dogs, and
13-yard line.
that's probably the best you could ask for in that situation. It's all about field position now. The back and forth battle between these two teams, and now the defense has the offense backed up deep. Now you got to make them pay for it. Qualls there with the punt by the Dogs.
Definitely, Josh. And right here, I think Hickman County definitely has the advantage.
That's a long way for the Panthers to drive, but we know they're dangerous offensively. They certainly will have no problem doing it if Hickman County doesn't put a stop to their momentum. So Skelton in the gun, receiver out wide right, 2 to the left, snap. They're going to keep it on the ground, and he has a lot of room. Gets around the edge, 30, 35, and he is wrapped up and wrangled out of bounds just beyond the 35. So an early first down carry. That was number 5, Drew Ray.
Ray on the carry, first down for the Panthers.
So Ray was the one that had that face mask penalty called against him earlier, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So he's making up for it there with a big first down carry.
Josh, I guess we can call that a little payback, if you will.
His retribution. So Miller out wide to the right for Lewis. Wise and Fightinger out wide left for the Panthers. Snap, Skelton. Going to give it up the middle again. Follows his blockers, letting a play develop. Stiff arms Armstrong, and he's down beyond midfield. Finally wrangled up and taken down by the Dogs.
Ray again with the carry, first down at the 47-yard line.
That was number 17, Rain Ola, on the tackle. So the Panthers now in plus territory for the second time this game. Skelton snap, swings it out left, has his man, lowers his shoulder, plows through a Bulldog, and he's got a first down and more down the sideline. Still on his feet and finally shoved out of bounds by Street and Armstrong.
Pass complete to Carroll, first down for the Panthers.
That was number 3, Cade Carroll, on the reception. So, Aiden, we've seen Lewis County really utilize these short passes, and they have been tearing the Bulldogs apart so far with it.
Definitely, Josh. Hopefully Hickman County will make a change here so they don't get another touchdown going into the second quarter.
We've got under 3 minutes to play in this first quarter. Lewis County leads Hickman 7-0. But Lewis, after starting at their own 13, now already approaching the Bulldog 30. Snap, Skelton wants to throw, fires over the middle, caught. Slips through a man, dragging some Bulldogs with him down to the 15. Fightinger on the reception. I remember calling that young man's name during basketball season during the games Hickman County played against Lewis. So I guess that kid is just an incredible athlete, making a difference here on the gridiron as well. So Skelton in the gun, 2 receivers right, 2 left, running back flanking him to his right. Snap, a slow snap, screens it off to his man, number 5. Ray gets around the edge, and he's going to coast on in for a Lewis County touchdown. So Skelton finds Ray to tack onto this lead. I'm not sure if my ears are deceiving me, Aiden, but I believe that Lewis County's band is playing Rocky Top over on the far side. I guess they're excited for the big game tomorrow where the Tennessee Volunteers will be hosting the Georgia Bulldogs in Knoxville. College Game Day will be there as well. Candace Parker, a guest picker on the show. And Russell Dickerson will be performing a special country music concert at the event as well. And that kick by Sharp is up and in, and Lewis County tacks on with the PAT to make your score 14-0. So the Bulldogs already behind the 8 ball here early, down 2 scores to a very stout Panther team. So, of course, being in the first quarter still with 1:47 to play, you don't want to press the panic button by any means, but if you're the Bulldogs, you have to do something to get this momentum back. You have to put some points on the board on this drive, or else you run the risk going down potentially 3 scores before we've even hit the half.
And, Josh, you don't want to use Braden McCaleb every play, but he's been the answer so far of us getting yards, so maybe we need to use him a little bit more.
Of course, making this Lewis County defense respect McCaleb, anticipate McCaleb, and then hopefully that will open up the door for these other Bulldog offensive players such as Street, Hutchison, or maybe even Pittman as a wide receiver if Lewis elects to pass. So Sharp's kick is away, and what a leg this young man has. Soaring to the sunset sky, fielded inside the 15. Has some room, and he's tripped up and taken down. Hayden Kennedy was there on the return. Gets past the 30. Now Kennedy, Aiden, only a freshman, one of the many freshmen that Coach Pat Smith said he was very pleased with coming into this season. And we've seen Kennedy make a lot of explosive return plays thus far on the young year.
And Josh, just seeing that so early in his high school career, no telling what he'll be capable of later down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Dogs, just shy of the 35, ball spotted at the 34. No receivers out wide for the Dogs. Lewis snaps. They're going to give up the middle, lowering his shoulder. I believe that was McCaleb on the carry. No, that was, yes, that was McCaleb on the carry. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard.
2nd and 9 for the Bulldogs.
So McCaleb powers the ball to the 35. Snap, Lewis rolls, wants to pass. Still on his feet, tries to tuck it, but he's wrapped up and sacked by Lewis County. That was number 53, Colby Cates, on the sack. And on the far side of the field there, Aiden, we saw a Bulldog receiver frantically waving his arms, letting him know he was open. But when you have Lewis rolling out to the left against his body, not on his arm-dominant side, it would have been almost impossible for him to turn against his body and make that throw to the opposite side of the field. But that should be proof that these Bulldog receivers can get open, even if the ball wasn't thrown to him on that particular play. But a holding call was called there against the Dogs. It'll back him up to the 30-yard line. It'll be a 3rd down and 14.
And Josh, I think once John Michael Lewis gets the feel of being a quarterback and throwing the ball, I think he will do great things in the quarterback position.
I absolutely agree with you, Aiden. Lewis under center here. Snap. Lewis lets it fly down the field for Street. Oh, and he had it in his hands, but it was broken up.
Pass is incomplete.
A great defensive play there by number 9, Brody Unger. And that's a tough play to make there, Aiden. You would like Street to come down with that ball, but he gave such a great effort on that play. Brings up a 4th down and long. So the Dogs forced to punt it away yet again. Lewis to punt things away. Does that rugby-style punt. That's a high kick, not a very far one. Goes past the 45 and rolls out of bounds before it crosses the 40. Lewis County will take over around the 43-yard line of their own with 21 seconds to play in the first quarter. Lewis 14, Hickman nothing. Snap. Skelton wants to throw. Steps up. Pressure coming. Gets out to the left. Just lets it fly. Has a man. And it's caught. Taken down at the 10-yard line. Skelton finds Wise for a big chunk play to set up a 1st and goal for the Panthers. And it looks like a Bulldog was down on the field. Number 15, Jacoby Pittman, now coming off the sideline with a bit of a limp. Number 2, Devin Tucker, coming into the game now for the Dogs. And there was a penalty marker, I believe, thrown on the field, waiting for the official confirmation. And that was such an incredible throw by Skelton with pressure coming, the pocket collapsing, lets it fly downfield and finds his man Aiden Wise. And the penalty marker was waved off, so no flag, although the officials are still congregating. But no personal foul will be against the Bulldogs.
It was a personal foul on the Bulldogs.
Not sure if that personal foul would have been, but it's half the distance to the goal. 1st down and goal from the 5. Snap. Skelton gave it to Ray, but he's met and stopped by that Bulldog front.
No gain on play. There's a flag on the field.
So no gain on the carry by Drew Ray, but there is a penalty marker down. And flags were a big part of the middle school football game last night, where the Bulldogs were victorious over the Charlotte Tigers by a score of 16-8. Over 30 flags thrown in that football game, and we're hoping it doesn't turn into the same story here tonight. And I believe that was a sideline warning that was just issued. And that will bring us to the end of the 1st quarter. Your score after 1, Lewis County 14, Hickman County 0. Plenty of ball left to be played. We'll be right back.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald Family. Heritage Bank and Trust and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
And welcome back to WNKX live on YouTube and Facebook. We're about to start the 2nd quarter of action here at Hickman County High School. Your score, Lewis County 14, Hickman County nothing. And it has certainly been a one-sided 1st quarter up to this point. Lewis County has dominated both sides of the ball, but plenty of time left to be played. I'm Josh Copley, joined alongside my color commentator, student Aiden Weber, and we have another student on the camera here tonight. We love having these student-led crews here at WNKX. So Skelton in the gun, snap. Looks like a jet sweep to Ray. Tries to get around the edge. Hickman County in pursuit, breaks a tackle, pushing to the pylon, but shoved out of bounds just shy of the goal line.
Ray pushed out of bounds about the 1-yard line.
He'll get down to about the 1-yard line. 3rd and goal now for the Panthers.
And so far, Josh, we have seen an incredible Lewis County team. Hopefully Hickman County will have a better quarter this time than the first. And Braden Stone is our new cameraman for the 2nd quarter. He is filling in for Houston Porter. We're so glad to have these young men with us here tonight. Lewis, 3rd and goal, snap. They're going to give to Ray again up the middle, and he's going to coast on into the end zone for a Lewis County touchdown.
So Sharp on for the PAT. And a lot of motion from both fronts. Let's see who the officials get with the flag. And if it's against the Bulldogs, we may see Lewis County attempt a 2-point conversion. Of course, the ball being moved up to the 1-yard line instead of the 2. The officials congregating, talking about the penalty. And it will be an offsides against the Bulldogs. So now it's decision time for the Lewis County coaching staff. And it looks like, as we expected, Aiden, they might be going for 2 here.
Lewis County going for the 2-point conversion.
They make some substitutions on the sideline. And why not? You know, at the 1-yard line, you may as well. So they are in the I formation. Snap. It's a straight give up the middle to Drew Ray. Ray powering forward. He breaks the plane. The 2-point conversion is good. Your score, Lewis County now leads Hickman 22-0. And Aiden, we knew going into this game this is going to be a tough one. I mean, Lewis County has looked dominant all season. Hickman County has had their fair share of struggles on top of the injuries that they've sustained. We knew this would be an uphill battle, but things are certainly getting out of hand in a hurry, with the Bulldogs looking to answer back with 11 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the first half.
And Josh, we've seen bad so far for Hickman County, but we've also seen a lot of good things happen. Braden McCaleb so far has had a great few runs, and John Michael has had 2 good throws. So some good key points to look at in this game as well.
You know, Aiden, I can respect your positivity. Always looking at the bright side. But in the world of sports or in life, that's what you have to do, right? And Sharp's kick is away, and it's another booming kick fielded by Kennedy. Kennedy tries to follow his blocks, just dives down. There weren't a lot of blockers opening up lanes for him, and Lewis County was about to swarm him, so I think he made the wise decision there to dive down, to take what he can get and not try to force anything. So Hickman County will take over 1st and 10 inside their own territory. The ball will be spotted at the 23-yard line. And Aiden, I love the contrast in weather here. It seems like we were setting up shop earlier today with the sun beating down on us. It felt like it was 100 degrees, but now the sun is set, a great breeze coming through the window. Feeling good. The first down run, give Armstrong, and he's going to lose a few back to the 15.
Armstrong. Loss of 7 on the play.
And Armstrong will go back a considerable amount. He'll lose about 7 yards on the first down carry. And that was like a direct snap to Armstrong. Not sure if he was playing the quarterback position or if he was just in some sort of wildcat formation. And Armstrong will again be taking snaps. It's going to be a direct keeper. Tries to follow his blockers. Lewis County well prepared. Not much going. And it'll be a pile. The ball's loose on the ground, but it's well after the officials blow the whistle.
Gain of 1 on the play, 3rd down.
And Armstrong gets about 1 of those yards back of the 7 that was just lost. 3rd down and 16 for the Bulldogs. So a timeout is called on the field by the Bulldogs. That is their first of the half.
Hickman County.
And Aiden, really at this point of the game, you have a 3rd and long after not having really any successful offensive drives to this point in the game. You're down 3 scores. I mean, how in the world could you possibly turn this game around with this timeout? What do you think Coach Smith is telling his guys down there in the huddle?
Josh, he's definitely telling them just to keep playing hard. I would love to see more runs from McCaleb and for John Michael Lewis to throw the ball more. I think we'd be successful if we let that happen.
But of course, Aiden, we can only give our own speculations. We're not coaches. We don't have the game plan up here in front of us, so we can only trust Coach Smith and the rest of his guys to turn this around through whatever means necessary, whether it's airing the ball out, whether it's designing more deception run-style plays. But Lewis County, they have just been ready for everything, it seems like. But I believe we could also attribute that to good coaching. I mean, Lewis County's coaching staff came in ready to play. They've been ready to play all season, and this is just more examples of it here tonight.
Josh, Lewis County tonight has definitely shown why they are a 3-0 team.
Oh, for sure, and I think they're a team you have to watch out for later in the season for a potential playoff run as well. So here we go, out of the timeout. The ball's given on the 3rd and long. They're looking to feed Braden McCaleb, but he's going to be well shy of the sticks. He gets about 8 yards on the carry, which under normal circumstances, an 8-yard carry is not bad at all, but when you need 16, leaves a little bit more to be desired, and that will be a 4th down and long now for the Bulldogs, about 8 yards to go to move the chains. We're now under 10 minutes to play in the first half. And Lewis back deep to punt. And at Kobe Feidinger there to kick, and the punt is blocked by Lewis County and fallen on quickly by the Dogs. So the Panthers, as if they needed better field position already, they will get just that. As they will start inside the 25. Marker at the 23, close to the 24-yard line. So 10 seconds on the play clock, and Lewis County just now in their formation, a little bit slow lining up here. And they have to take a timeout, their first timeout, so a little bit of miscommunication there for the Panthers. Really the first miscue we've seen them have all game. But it gives the Bulldogs time to continue to assess what they need to do on defense with the Panthers already knocking on the door of the red zone. So Lewis County back out on the field. 2 receivers, 1 wide left, 1 right, snap. They're going to give to Ray. Ray's got a lot of room and a blocker. Bounce out to the outside, but is run down and tackled shy of the sticks by Braden Armstrong. He'll get about 8 or 9 yards on the first down carry. And really, Aiden, it just looks like this Lewis County offense is really complete. Skelton has a great arm, a great presence about him in the pocket. Ray's a very strong runner. They've got some great receivers out wide to make tough catches. So really, like you said, we're seeing why Lewis County is a 3-0 team. Snap on the second short. Fades it well over his head. Incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
And Josh, just going back to Lewis County, they're just showing that they're a complete team, that they have mostly everything, honestly.
Yeah, and for sure. And that pass there on the second and short play was looking for the end zone, but sails it over his head. Well covered by the Bulldogs. Skelton not wanting to force anything there. It'll be a 3rd down and 2 yards to go to move the chains. The Bulldogs with a chance to force their first 4th down of the game. Snap. It's a little bit of a low snap. No problem. No handle. Give up the middle. And he's not getting anything.
Stop by the Bulldogs.
That's a big stop by the Bulldogs, and he'll lose a yard or so on the carry. So Hickman County with their first 3rd down stop of the game, but now it's decision time for Lewis County. So now it's a 4th and a long 3, short 4 for the Panthers, and it looks like they're going to have Sharp attempt a field goal. The snap is low, takes the bounce, fielded by the holder. The kick is up, and it's going to fall short, and it is no good. So a big break there for the Bulldogs. They force the 4th down. They force the kicker onto the field. And good things happen when you can do that, Aiden. And Hickman County with their first really momentum-shifting play of the game. But now let's see if the offense can make it count.
Definitely, Josh. And we saw a few weeks ago with the Harp at the game how the offense would do good, then the defense would do good. So hopefully that defense energy will carry on to the offense so they can get some running plays going here.
So after the missed field goal, your score stays Lewis 22, Hickman nothing. Bulldogs on the offensive at the 17. But a whistle blows, and a timeout is called. Timeout, Bulldogs. That'll be their 2nd timeout of the first half, with 8 minutes and 3 seconds left to play in the 2nd quarter. And Aiden, really, I like that timeout there by the Bulldogs because the first play of a drive is usually the most important. It's what sets the tone for the rest of the series. And Hickman County, after that missed field goal by Lewis County, they can't afford to let this opportunity slip through their fingers. So it's good that Coach Smith is taking his time, making sure he calls up and draws up the best play possible on this first play of the series. So both teams now out of the timeout. Lewis under center, motions his man left to right, snap. Rolls right, wants to throw. Pressure coming, hit as he throws, and it goes sailing out of bounds. And I think his arm was coming forward, maybe the hit. I was going to say the hit maybe impacted the direction of the pass, but now the flag comes out and it looks like it'll probably be intentional grounding on Lewis. But if it was tipped, then maybe they have a way out of this call. The officials are talking it over. And they will wave the flag off, so no intentional grounding call on Lewis. I guess they determined that the ball was tipped, so a big break there from the Dogs. Good job by Lewis to stay strong in the pocket and to get that ball away. Or out of the pocket, rather. Lewis under center again. No receivers out wide. Snap. And keep it on the ground. McCaleb darts forward. Not a lot going on first down. Gets a few.
Carry, gain of 3 on the play.
McCaleb gets about 3 yards for a 3rd down and 7. We see Hutchison subbing back onto the field for the Dogs. Armstrong making his way off to the sideline. So 3rd down and medium for the Dogs. Motions Hutchison, snap. They're going to give it to him on the jet sweep. Tries to break around to the edge, but he is wrapped up and taken down at the 25-yard line. So get a couple of yards to set up a 4th and 5, and that will probably force the Dogs to punt yet again. We know Lewis's punt was blocked last time. Looking to avoid that same fate. High snap, rolls right, and he wants to throw. And he gets the punt off. And now I wonder how this call works, because if he's a punter, that's technically roughing the punter. But with that rugby-style punt, with Lewis acting as a runner, the tackle there will not be a penalty by any means against a kicker, because he was acting as if he were a player trying to advance the ball. So nothing going there for the Dogs on that play, trying to get creative to make something happen. Hickman County will take, or Lewis County will take over at the 23-24 yard line. So Skelton in the gun, 2 receivers left, 1 right. Now motions a man out wide. Snap, and a lot of flags fly. Probably an illegal motion of some sort. Yep, and they'll get a false start against the Panthers. So after the false start, Lewis has it. 1st and 10 at the 28. 2 wide left, 1 wide right. Now motions a man out. Snap. They're going to give it up the middle on an inside zone. Not much going. And he'll get maybe back to the line of scrimmage, if not a loss of a yard. So Hickman County's defense, for all intents and purposes here, Aiden, has looked pretty good on these last 2 series so far.
And Josh, as we were saying earlier, is Hickman County's known for their defense. So hopefully the good defense that we have will translate to the offense later in the game.
And that depth on defense really making its presence felt here, especially with the injuries. Now there's 3 receivers to the right, 1 left, rolls right, wants to pass, Skelton fires, has a man, the pass is low, smothered, and it's incomplete. It bounced off the ground. His receiver trying to plead his case, but there is no replay technology here at high school football. The officials saw what they saw. Incomplete, 3rd down and long for the Panthers. 3rd and 15 from the 28. And another big 3rd down for this Bulldog defense with a chance to get off the field. Skelton in the gun, running back to his right, 2 receivers right, 2 to the left. Snap, looks to throw, swings out to the right. The Bulldogs in pursuit. Ray gets around the edge, cuts back inside near the sticks, and he's on his feet, taken out of bounds. Where will they spot him? Do they give him enough to move the chains? It looks like it. And yes, he will have enough for a 1st down. Lewis County and Aiden, those are the kind of plays that are backbreakers for a defense. You have them 3rd and 15. They do a little check down swing pass in the backfield. you think you're hoping and expecting your defense to make that pursuit tackle there, but the Bulldogs unable to do so, and now Lewis County with new life knocking on the door. So a first down and 10. They can get one more first down at around the 5-yard line. Ball spotted at the 15. Skelton snaps, rolls left, wants to throw, fires to the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Lewis County.
Touchdown, Fidinger. There is a flag on the play.
Now Fidinger was there on the reception, the pass by Skelton, but there is a penalty, and it's a holding call against the Panthers, and that'll back them up. So it seems like it never fails, Aiden, no matter what level of football you're at, on a big touchdown play, there will be a holding call thrown in some form or fashion. Now, it only so happens that this time it benefits the Bulldogs, so we'll take it.
Definitely, Josh, and hopefully we can get some defense rolling and stop them here.
Of course, and those kinds of penalties, they can be detrimental to an offense as well. I mean, having to start all the way back when you were at the 15, now you're about at the 23-yard line for a 1st and 20. So snap, Skelton wants to throw again, pressure coming, it's a screen, dunks it off, tries to bounce it out to the right, it's Bean. Bean still on his feet, spins inside, stays on his feet and dives forward, and he's close to the sticks. What a play by Braylon Bean there at the end.
About a yard short of the first down.
And Hickman County's defense just unprepared for the screen. And he is very close to the sticks. They'll mark him just short. Looks like a 2nd down and 2. So 2nd down and 2, the ball is around the 5. And once again, Lewis County really punishing Hickman with these short pass plays. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Skelton in the gun. Snap. Play action. Rolls. And he lost the ball. Hickman County's got it. It's a forced fumble. And Hickman County recovers.
Keeping on the sack. Fumble is recovered by the Bulldogs. First down.
What a play by the Dogs. The pass rush prepared for the play action, and a big turnover there for Hickman County. And perhaps this is where the Bulldogs can turn things around.
Definitely, Josh. You love to see it as we only have about 4 minutes left in this first half.
So first down play, it's given a street. Not much going for the Dogs. So he'll lose close to 5 yards on the first down carry for a 2nd and 15. And that's the last thing you want after a big turnover, to go backwards. And now they're backed up even closer to their own goal line. The ball spotted at the 5. But now, as an offense, Hickman County, any turnover can be detrimental. Or if, Lewis looks to pass, gets sacked in the end zone, a safety could occur. So Hickman County definitely not out of the fire yet by any means. And a penalty marker is thrown.
Flag on the play. That'll be a delay of game.
And Hickman County will be called for the delay of game, and that'll back them up half the distance to the goal. So they'll be at about the 2.5-yard line. So it'll be a 2nd down and 17 for the Dogs. So more self-inflicted wounds for Hickman. Snap, Lewis. And Lewis was taken down on the play action jet sweep there, and he's sacked, and that will be a safety. So add 2 to Lewis County's score total, making it 24-0 Panthers. And Aiden, was even worse about that safety is that Lewis County now gets the ball back.
Definitely, Josh. You hate to see it for Hickman County, but all they can do is play their hardest going into this halftime break.
So the fumble is what felt like a dream for the Bulldogs and what quickly turned into a nightmare scenario.
And Josh, that just shows how quickly the game can change. in time and pace as we saw here tonight just a few minutes ago.
I think also what Lewis County did there, that's just the sign of a good team, right? Whenever they turned the ball over, you know, they knew what the score was. They knew they were still in the lead. They knew the world wasn't ending at all. So they come out on defense and play the way they've been playing all game, and they punish Hickman County back deep in their own territory. And now their offense has a chance to right the wrong of that fumble by adding more points onto the board with 3 minutes and 21 seconds left to play in the first half. So, Aiden, to remind our viewers at home, this will not be your traditional kickoff on the safety. Parker Lambert will have to punt it from the 20-yard line. So apparently there's a rule now where you can kick off on safeties. So Parker Lambert will get to tee it up and boot it deep. And the kick is away. A pretty good kick by Lambert, fielded at the 35. The 50 past midfield has a lane. Taken down at the 30, and a flag flies in the back end of the play. And usually that means either a legal block in the back or holding, and it will be a holding call against Lewis. So a good return by the Panthers, all for naught, and that'll back him up. But with where Lambert had to kick away from following the safety, they were bound to get good field position anyway.
Blocking the back on the Panthers, that'll bring the ball back to the 45-yard line where they'll have first down.
So even after that block in the back call, they're still close to midfield. The ball spotted at their own 45. Two receivers out, one left, one right. Snap. It's a halfback toss to the right to Ray. Armstrong got him in the backfield.
Armstrong with the tackle for loss.
A big TFL for Braden Armstrong. He can use that acceleration not just on offense, but on defense as well. In hot pursuit of Drew Ray, and he wraps him up for a loss of 5. Back to the 40. Second down and 15 for the Panthers.
Definitely, Josh. That just shows the great talent Armstrong has. I mean, we see him more offensively getting yards for the Dogs, but it's great that he can wrap someone up on defense as well.
So two receivers, stacked right, two stacked left. Snap. Play action, tosses it out right. Has some room down the sideline. Armstrong runs him out of bounds. The pass was complete to number 14, Caden Miller.
Miller with the catch. They'll be bringing up about 3rd and 3.
So Armstrong again making his presence known on the defensive side of the ball, shoving Miller out of bounds. Well shy of the sticks. 3rd down and 3 for the Panthers with just under 2.5 to play in the first half. So Skelton in the gun. Two receivers left, one right. Running back flank him, nose right. Snap. They're going to give up the middle. And a hole opens up. The Red Sea parts, and Ray takes it well into Bulldog territory, just shy of the 25, down to the 27. Snap, Skelton, another short pass out to the right. Tries to cut back inside. So not much going for the Panthers. 1:40 to play in the half. Second down and 8. So a 2-yard reception for Lewis County as they keep marching forward. So 3 receivers this time to the left, 1 to the right. Snap. Skelton rolls left, wants to throw, fires deep to the left side of the field. What a throw! And what a catch by Cade Carroll.
It's complete.
Pinpoint precision.
There's a flag on the play. That'll be a hold on the Panthers, so that will
So
come
pinpoint
back.
precision from Colt Skelton. So yet another marvelous pass by Skelton, taken off the board by a penalty after the holding call on the field. So after what turns into a first down and almost first and goal, now it's going to be a first down and 20, or we're trying to read the sideline marker, but it's a second down and 18. So second down and 18 following the hold at the 35. Skelton wants to throw again. Throws out to the right, on the money, caught near the sticks. It's
Pass caught by
Fightinger.
Out of bounds. That'll bring
So
up
Fightinger's really been
third
racking
down
up the
about
receptions
11,
thus far.
3rd and 12.
So not a lot on the pass. Still get about 7, which typically you would think 7 is a lot, but they still have 11 yards to go to move the sticks. Snap. Give on the ground. It's Ray up the middle. Wrapped up, taking down at the 25.
Ray, with the carry up the middle, brought down by McCaleb.
So that'll force a 4th and long. We'll have about 8 yards to go to move the chains with under a minute to play in the first half. And the Bulldogs trying yet again to get off the field, and we know Henry Sharp has quite a leg. We know Lewis County's not afraid to try these long field goals, but they're going to keep the offense out on the field for this 4th down. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Snap. Skelton wants to throw. Steps up, fires to the end zone. What a catch! Touchdown, Panthers. What a throw. What a catch. Give the Panthers 6 more points. My goodness. I mean, Aiden, it's one of those plays where it's hard to be mad. That was just incredible.
Definitely, Josh. And I think me and you and everybody watching and everybody here can agree, Skelton has had a great game so far in showing his talent in throwing the football.
Absolutely. And his receivers are just very talented as well between Fightinger and the others. A great core they have at Lewis County. A snap, kick, good, but a flag.
It's good. There's a flag on the play.
Probably against the Panthers. Didn't see a lot of movement from the Dogs up front. That'll be a false start against Lewis County, so that'll make the PAT just a little bit more difficult.
False start on Lewis County.
And those are the kind of plays where if you're a kicker, you get a little mad at your offensive line because kicking already is hard enough, Aiden, and now you back him up even more. So we know this young man has a good leg, so will the false start matter or not? Only time will tell. Snap. Looks good. Hold looks good. The kick is up. It's a line drive missile. And it's no good. It misses wide to the left.
Lewis County 30.
So your score stays Lewis County 30, Hickman County 0. So with 30 seconds left to play in the first half, Hickman County, not a lot of timeouts left at their disposal. I'm wondering if they just take this to the half, or maybe they try to get fancy, push the ball downfield to get some points before the break. So Sharp ready to kick things off after that touchdown pass by Skelton. Put Lewis up 30-0. The PAT was no good. We appreciate you all for tuning in. Of course, this game has been very one-sided thus far, but your support is always appreciated. Win or lose, we love these dogs. And we know you do too, and we're always happy to bring you coverage of Hickman County sports on YouTube and Facebook. Sharp boots it away through the night sky. It's going to be fielded. That's Kennedy. Tries to cut back, make a move, and he's met by a wall of Panthers. He'll get beyond the 25, down to the 27-yard line.
Kennedy with the return to about the 28-yard line. That'll be first down for the Bulldogs.
So 1st and 10, that return did run about 4 or 5 seconds off the clock. Now, Aiden, the safe play, I think, is keep it on the ground, take it to half, don't force anything. But, you know, a lot of fans, they probably say, well, let John Michael throw it 50 yards and see what happens. So some more Bulldogs subbing onto the field. Armstrong looks to be the one taking the snap instead of Lewis. Armstrong going to give it. That's Street trying to get around the edge, and he's met, wrapped up, and thrown to the ground violently. Not much on the carry. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play.
2nd down and 10, and with 10 seconds, do the Dogs run off one more play, or do they just take it to the half? And they will let it run down to the half, and that brings us to the end of our second quarter. Your score here on WNKX, Lewis County 30, Hickman County nothing. So, guys, Aiden and I are going to be stepping away for a moment. We will keep the camera on midfield. There will be a performance by the Hickman County High School cheerleaders that we encourage you to stay and watch. And this halftime break is presented by Heritage Bank. But, folks, we'll see you at the start of the second half. Don't go anywhere. And we are back. Josh Copley alongside Aiden Weber on WNKX, live on YouTube and Facebook. We are about to resume play here at Hickman County High School with the second half. Lewis County has currently been dominating the Hickman County Bulldogs by a score of 30-0, and Aiden has not been pretty, but knowing these Bulldogs, they're going to keep running the offense out there. They're going to try to put some points on the board, but these are the challenges that you have, facing injuries, facing a good team who's undefeated so far, and undefeated, might I add, without really even a challenge thus far. They have blown out all three opponents, Zion Christian, Houston County, and Loretto. So we knew this was going to be a tough game, and Hickman County, who's ran into their fair share of struggles to start the year with a new coaching staff. So Hickman County can only really do what they can in the second half to try to build some momentum, not just for the rest of this game, but for next week as well. And, who knows how long we're going to be without Andy Kraft, Aiden Spiegelmeyer, or Chase Sims. So I think it's the best to get used to this team you have right now, because these might be the guys that you got to ride with the rest of the season. So
Definitely, Josh. I mean, you said it best. They just have to keep playing hard. I mean, yes, they're down 30-0, but that's not an excuse to not play hard. They can still use what they learned in this game for next week's game and take practice very seriously this week.
You know, there's an old adage, Aiden, in the world of sports, and it goes, if they can do it, why can't we? So if Lewis County can score 30 points in one half, why can't the Hickman County Bulldogs score 30 points in the second half?
Exactly, Josh. I mean, we could see the biggest comeback in Hickman County sports history tonight.
And that is something I would love to see. I still remember the great Super Bowl 51 comeback. The New England Patriots down 28-3 against the Atlanta Falcons, and of course, Tom Brady led his team back to victory. So let's see if John Michael Lewis or whoever's taking snaps has a little Tom Brady in him here tonight. Because, Aiden, I say John Michael Lewis or whoever's taking snaps because we did see Braden Armstrong taking some snaps on plays that were direct runs. We haven't seen Armstrong throw the ball, but who knows who we're going to see in the second half. I would expect Lewis, but you never know. Maybe Hickman County wants a different look.
And, Josh, I wonder what Coach Smith and the other coaching staff was saying at halftime. You know, the players are probably a little down and out that they're down so much, but I guarantee the coaching staff was lifting the guys up, saying keep playing hard, and let's go really give them something to work toward in this second half.
Yeah, for sure, Aiden, and I think that's really where Coach Smith's background is going to be tested. He prided himself as someone who's a leader, and those leadership capabilities are never needed more than right now. Because when you feel like all hope is lost, that's when you need to be rallied the most. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Coach Smith has instilled in these guys at the half. Of course, I would love to be a fly on the wall in most of these halftime meetings, but of course we can only guess and assume. But the message that the coach gives at halftime is reflected in the second half play. So I guess we're about to find out. And the horn sounded several minutes ago to end halftime, and we're just now taking the field. Hickman County kicking it deep to Lewis County. Parker Lambert set to kick things away for the Dogs. This young man in his first year as a football player with a big leg. And Aiden, I wonder if the Dogs are going to pull a trick out of the hat here and maybe try an onside kick to start the third quarter. Well, that's a bullet on the ground, and it takes a big hop at the 30, fielded, and Lewis County will secure it, and they got room, breaking tackles down the sideline. Lambert, though, with a tackle. Who said kickers can't be physical? How about that, Parker Lambert?
Definitely, Josh. He showed it right then and there. Yes, he can kick the ball, but he can contribute on other ways of the field as well.
That gets me fired up, Aiden. I love watching a kicker make a physical play, like watching Pat McAfee back in the day for the Indianapolis Colts making a big-time stop. Now, as awesome as the Lambert tackle was, Hickman County is still having to play defense backed up in their own territory. Lewis takes over in plus territory at the 35. Motions his man left to right. Snap. Skelton wants to throw. First play. Lets it fly. That's a deep shot. One-on-one. Almost a one-handed interception by Hutchison.
Incomplete. Defense by Taylor Hutchinson.
Now, Josh, if Hutchison would have intercepted that, that would have been a great play for the Bulldogs, but obviously it did not happen. Hopefully they can get something going here on this next play.
That have made Sports Center top 10, I think, Mr. Weber. And so Skelton in the gun yet again. Two receivers right, one to the left. Motions his man right to left. Snap. To jet sweep, give. That's Feidinger, still on his feet, wrapped up, grabbed by the jersey, and taken down. So a nice tackle there by the Dogs.
Armstrong on the tackle.
That was Braden Armstrong there on the tackle for Hickman County. So there was a lot of running east to west there, Aiden, not a lot of north to south, and they get no gain back to the line of scrimmage, an early third down and 10 for the Panthers. And another side effect to being down 30-0, that it effectively takes the crowd out of the game. I mean, it's hard for these fans to get excited, to make the other team nervous with the noise. So, but a few defensive plays, a few stops, a big, something to light a spark under these fans could do something for these Bulldogs as far as getting some momentum in this game. So snap, Skelton. They're just going to get up the middle on 3rd and long. That's an easy first down. Ray cuts back inside, and he's going to coast all the way in. Touchdown, Panthers.
Touchdown, Ray.
So a 3rd down and long, a run right up the middle works. So now Sharp back out to attempt the PAT. The snap a little high, but fielded nicely. The hold is good, and the kick is up, and it's good. 37-0, your score in favor of the Panthers with 8:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Aiden, the Panthers did eclipse that 35-point margin, so that does mean the mercy clock will be rolling. So on plays that we typically see the clock stop, not going to happen this time. It'll keep rolling. So Lewis County picking up right where they left off. Starting this 3rd quarter off with a touchdown drive. And it was set up by the good field position after the good return. So Sharp, after making the PAT, setting up to kick things away again. And Sharp's kick is away. Fielded by Pittman at the 20. Tries to go around the edge. Tries to cut back inside, just beyond the 25, down to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10 Dogs. Snap, Lewis, under center taking snaps, gives. That's Hutchison, tries to get around the outside, but he is slung down to the ground for a loss.
Hutchison on the carry, bring up 2nd and 12.
It'll be a 2nd and 12 now after a loss of 2. It's the 2nd and long. Snap. Another run play. Nothing going. I think that was given to, trying to see the number, that was Braden McCaleb. He'll lose about a yard.
Bring up 3rd and 13.
So 3rd and 13, close to 3rd and 14 for the Dogs.
Now, Josh, if you're a Panthers fan, you're definitely excited out of your mind right now. But if you're Hickman County, you're definitely wanting to probably get this game just done and over with. That way you can work towards next week's game.
But Lewis wants to throw, fires into double, triple coverage, incomplete.
4th down.
But Aiden, to go along with what you just said, you know, these guys, while they may feel dejected right now, every rep still counts. You know, you don't want to develop any sort of bad habits, even when you feel like a game is decided. And Qualls to punt for the Dogs. On this 4th and 13. The punt is away, a high punt, but not a very far punt. It'll bounce inside the 50, and it takes a Panther bounce, falling on and downed.
42-yard line, 43-yard line when the Panthers will have the ball.
So the Panthers will have it at the 43, already in Bulldog territory. And really, I think that's a story of this game, Aiden. That has been the field position. Lewis County has really only had to drive the full length of the field only maybe once or twice. More often than not, they are getting the ball around midfield, if not on the other side of midfield. And that's just a testament to the Lewis County defense, forcing Hickman County back in tough punting situations or forcing turnovers of some kind. And that's just what good team complete football can do for an offense as well. So Skelton in the pistol, it looks like. 2 receivers left, motions 1, right, left, snap. It's going to be a straight give up the middle. And again, some nice yardage on a carry. Goes for about 5 or 6 yards. McCaleb was there on the tackle, Ray on the carry. They'll spot it at the 37-yard line. In the pistol again, snap, low snap, fielded nicely by Skelton, give up the middle, nothing much going. The carry was number 25, Gavin Coker, the 5'5" sophomore running back. So Skelton has 1 man to his right, 1 man to his left, 2 receivers wide left, 1 to the right. Snap, Skelton gives again to Coker. Coker using his agility to shift through tacklers, and he gets down to move the chains close to the 30. See the official spot, the 31-yard line. First down play, snap, Skelton gives, and it's going. No! Coker's still on his feet, and he finally looked like he lost his footing. I don't think he was really tackled after breaking like 2 tackles in 1. Now, Coker might not be the biggest guy in the world, standing at only 5'5", but that low center of gravity makes him hard to bring down. He's very agile, shifty in open space. He was showing it right there. Even though that play went for a loss, he was still able to evade a couple of tacklers. So 2nd down and 14. Skelton, quick throw out to the right, complete.
Pass is complete. Gain of 3 on the play. They'll bring up
So waiting to see where that ball is marked.
3rd and 7.
It's a 3rd and 7. That pass went for about 6 or 7 yards. 6-7. 3rd and 7 for the Panthers. And there's a timeout on the field. I believe there's an injury. Not sure who it is, though. It looks like a Bulldog.
And Josh, so far this season, it seems like injuries has killed our Hickman County football team.
Well, and even more so, it's not just the injuries that keep you out for a long time. It's these small injuries that maybe they're just cramps, maybe there's something mild, but the fact of the matter is it doesn't leave you the same. You're still not 100%. Even if you're able to play the rest of the game, you're not the very best player you can be. You're not playing to your full potential because of that tweak that you've had to any part of your body. And we've seen that happen a lot, especially early on in the season when it was hot. A lot of cramps happened. But it looks like that young man is okay and is walking off the field. And that is the senior Nick Stovall that was shaken up on the play, but he's walking off under his own power, maybe a slight limp. Hopefully he's all right. So a timeout is called. They're going to let these guys talk it over on their respective sidelines.
And Josh, as the 4th quarter is upon us, for Hickman County, I mean, maybe they can try some plays that they wouldn't normally do in a tie scenario game or something. Just see if something will work.
No, that's a good call by you, Aiden. I think, trying to mix things up a little bit, because really at this point, what do you have to lose to try these new things? Because if something does work, sure, it won't bring you back in this game, but what it does do is give you something to add to your arsenal and make you a more unpredictable football team. I think that's really been the problem for Hickman County over these last few weeks. They've been just a little bit too predictable for defenses. They haven't aired the ball out as much. We saw in the first game against Harpeth, early on they were throwing the ball. Andy Kraft had a big touchdown pass for their first touchdown on the season, and that made Harpeth respect the passing game, and the running game was able to dominate because of that respect they were having to give the air attack. So I like what you're saying, but Skelton passes open over the middle on the slant route, finds his receiver. That was number 14, Caden Miller. We've called his name a couple of times tonight. So Skelton, whether it's deep balls, whether it's quick throws over the middle, or check downs, or screens, he has been accurate thus far tonight with the exception of a couple of passes. But for the most part, he has been a very, very proficient and efficient quarterback. And that pass play will move the chains on that 3rd down play with just under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Snap. Skelton gives to Coker. Coker with some insane acceleration. Doesn't get a whole lot on the play, however.
Coker on the carry, McCaleb on the tackle.
McCaleb there to wrap him up. He'll get about a yard. 2nd down and 9. Under 30 seconds to play. The play clock and game clock are almost identically lined up. And it looks like the play clock is slightly ahead.
I think there should be a penalty with 0.004 seconds left.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are walking off to the sideline to prepare for the 4th quarter, but it looks like to me the play clock was a slight bit ahead of the game clock, but The referees let it slide, and that brings us to the end of the third quarter. Your score after 3, Lewis 37, Hickman nothing. We'll be right back.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald Family, Heritage Bank and Trust, and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
And welcome back to not halftime. Sorry about that. Did not mean to do that. We are back in our fourth quarter of play, about to be underway. Lewis leads 37-0 in the fourth quarter. Now underway. The give up the middle. And it looks like Lewis County has made some substitutions here.
Carry a flag on the play, there's a hold on the Panthers.
There'll be a holding call against the Panthers.
And Josh, if you're Hickman County, maybe it'd be good in this fourth quarter just see what your young guys can do on the field.
And number 9, Brody Unger. Now in at quarterback for the Panthers. And at running back is number 21, Knox Rainey, a freshman. Two receivers right, 2 left. Snap. The ball's loose. The Bulldogs knocked it out and recovered there by Rainey. But another big loss for the Panthers. Smith was there on the tackle for the Dogs. This is a third down and an eternity. Looks like a third down and 26. The ball is spotted at the 32-yard line. And a snap, and whistles blow, and another penalty. It'll be a delay of game called against the Panthers. So those are the kind of plays, those miscommunication plays that I think we can get used to seeing from younger guys as they're trying to learn and develop as players. So Lewis County again gets backed up. The ball just shy of the 40. It's in between the 39 and 40-yard line. It's a third down and 31 with 10 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. So 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Unger taking snaps. Rainey to his right. Snap. Play action. To be a keeper by the quarterback. And he accelerates, tries to cut back up inside. He gets a decent gain, but still a long way to go for this to move the chains. And that was number 18, Phoenix McDonald, in on the play. That was not Unger. And McDonald, who's usually a wide receiver, perhaps a little bit of a wildcat formation there on that last play. So 4th and 26. And at this juncture, we'll probably see them leave the offense out, and that's exactly what they'll do. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Quarterback in the gun, running back to his left. Snap. Unger looks to throw. Steps up. Oh, he lets it fly to the end zone. Incomplete. Both guys go up for the ball, and no, again, that was Phoenix McDonald still taking snaps.
Bulldogs will take over on downs, 1st and 10.
So McDonald, they're letting it fly for the Panthers. And incomplete, nothing going. Bulldog ball. So now, Aiden, as you said earlier, the younger guys are getting reps. So now let's see what they're made of. Maybe it's the younger guys that are going to have to be the ones to put some points on the board.
Definitely, Josh. And me and you are in the press box, and we still have a huge Hickman County fan base here tonight. And I heard the band earlier, and they're trying to get this crowd pumped up here in the fourth quarter.
I think that goes to show the sense of community that's here in Hickman County. These fans, yes, they want to see these Bulldogs win, of course. Who doesn't? But whenever we have this kind of showing, and Armstrong gets to carry up the middle, shifting his way through tacklers, gets a decent gain on the first down carry. But whenever we see these fans still show up and stay in spite of what the score is, that shows the passion. That shows how much these fans really love these young men and coaches on the field. They're not fair weather fans. They're here through thick and thin, and I can really respect that out of this Hickman County football fan base. Snap. It's going to be give up the middle to McCaleb, plowing his way forward just shy of midfield for a Bulldog first down. So it looks like, Aiden, we have a lot of the more experienced Bulldogs still out there running the offense. Lewis taking snaps. We still see Jaden Street. We see Braden McCaleb. The regulars, I guess we can call them. So first down, snap. A little bit of end around there. Gives to Armstrong. Tries to get around the edge. Gets to the 50. I thought he got maybe a yard past the 50. But the official spot will be right at midfield. He'll get maybe a yard. Snap, Lewis gives to Street. Street has a hole, lowers his head and plows forward close to the sticks. It'll be a third down and short.
For the Bulldogs.
Third down and a long one, short two. With 6.5 minutes to play in this football game. Snap, Lewis gives. That's McCaleb, has a hole, still on his feet, and gets down to the close to the 25. It looked like his knee might have hit down a little bit before that. And they'll back him up and mark him down at the 27, but still plenty for a Bulldog first down.
And Josh, right there, McCaleb just showing his talent on the football field, the powerhouse that he is for this Dogs team.
Right there, we saw a little bit of acceleration there from McCaleb. Not the fastest runner by any means, but he looked pretty quick right there, at least faster than I would be. Snap, Lewis. Another trick play, wants to give up the middle to Armstrong, just shedding through tackles, bouncing off of guys. And not a lot on the play, but that was a physical run by Braden Armstrong. As the Bulldogs are driving here as our game winds to a close with 5.5 minutes to play, I want to remind you that WNKX will be back with you next Friday night at 7 p.m. Central Time at home against Montgomery Central, and that will also be homecoming. So I know there will be a big crowd here tonight, or there will be a big crowd there next week. And we all encourage you here at WNKX to support these Bulldogs in person, but if you can't, Aiden and I will be here to give you the action on the live stream. Snap, toss, out wide. Has some room. Jump cut inside, upended, taken down. So Jaden Street does a little somersault to set up a 3rd and 3. Now, Aiden is a student with homecoming next week. I mean, are you excited for homecoming? I know for me when I was in high school, it was always a super big deal, and I'm hoping it still is at Hickman County High School.
Definitely, Josh. I'm very excited about homecoming. We got some games we're going to play and stuff like that, and just the atmosphere of homecoming is always fun. We have the homecoming parade coming up as well.
Of course, who doesn't love some festivities? And a 3rd down and 3 play. There's McCaleb again. And it's close to the sticks, but the officials say he got it. Move the chains. The Bulldogs in the red zone. The Bulldogs are in the red zone for the first time today. And that is quite an unbelievable stat. But better now than never to get some points on the board. Lewis, snap. He's going to give. I was on the ground to Jaden Street.
Street on the carry.
He'll get a pretty moderate gain. Gets about 4 yards. 2nd down and 6 for the Dogs. It's a jet sweep. Around the edge, it's Hutchison to the pylon.
Touchdown.
And that's a touchdown,
Bulldogs.
Hickman
Taylor
County.
Hutchison.
The Bulldogs are on the board, courtesy of Taylor Hutchison. That will send out Parker Lambert for the point after try.
Lambert for the point after attempt.
The snap is good. Hold looks good. The kick is up.
And that attempt is
And it's good.
good.
So Parker Lambert 1 for 1 on the day.
You score.
Making your score now, Lewis 37, Hickman 7.
And Josh Hutchinson has been a great player for Hickman County so far this season, and that just shows Hickman County not giving up even in the final minutes when you're down so much.
Yeah, and regardless of what the scoreboard shows right now, one of the last things the Bulldogs will remember about this game, other than the final score, they'll remember we scored a touchdown. Taylor Hutchison got around the edge on a jet sweep and scored. And if they take that momentum, that Hutchison touchdown, and roll that over to next week while also learning from their mistakes, I think it'll be a pretty good homecoming night for the Dogs against Montgomery Central. So Lambert set to kick things off. The last time we saw Lambert kick to start the second half, it was a very low line drive, almost a squib kick.
Lambert with the kickoff.
So I'm wondering if we'll see maybe an onside attempt here to get the offense back the ball, or if Lambert just boots it away and they let their defense take over. And here comes Lambert. And they're just going to boot it deep. It's going to bounce inside the 20. Fielded. And he'll take a knee at the 11. So 90 seconds to play in the game. Hickman County, after a defensive stop last time.
Lewis County with the ball on the 12-yard line.
So Lewis will have it first down and 10. Backed up inside their own territory. And it looks like Lewis County will be in the best formation any coach or player or fan wants to see, and that is the victory formation, as they'll take a knee. Skelton was the one to take the final snap and kneel down. And with 40 seconds on the play clock, that will be plenty to end this ball game here from Jerry Bratton Field.
For a 10-yard game tonight. As you leave, please, if you have any trash
Your
or
final
anything,
score
please
this
throw it
evening,
into the
Lewis
trash
County
can.
37, Hickman County 7. Now, it wasn't a great performance by any means, aided by the Bulldogs tonight, but the final possession where the Bulldogs had the ball, they scored a touchdown. Now it's up to the coaches to get these players' minds right in practice next week and to help them carry over that touchdown into the Montgomery Central game next week for homecoming night. It's going to be electric. The crowd's going to be passionate. The fan base is going to be rocking here at Hickman County High School. I'm excited for it. Even though Hickman County has just dropped their third game in a row, they fall to 1-3 on the year. Meanwhile, Lewis County improves to 4-0. these Bulldogs are not quitters. They will keep fighting till the very end, and I think we'll see a fighting football team next Friday night. So, Aiden, I appreciate you joining me. For Aiden Weber, I'm Josh Copley. We'll see you next Friday night on WNKX. Stream will begin at 6:45 p.m. with kickoff at 7. Homecoming night, we encourage you to be here to support these dogs in person, but if you can't make it, you can always catch us on YouTube or Facebook. But until then,